Hey everyone, this is OKCoyote. Welcome to my Magic the Gathering December Pack-A-Day Challenge for December 14th. Today's pack is Zendikar Rising. For those of you that don't know what it is we do here, I am opening a pack of Magic the Gathering every day in December with a different pack every day, just for fun. I've got all these packs, I want to open them. Yep, that's it. Today's pack, like I said, is Zendikar Rising. This, I believe, is the most recent Zendikar set. Zendikar, always a popular plane. Fans really like this set because it is land-based. You have cards with landfall triggers, and they make you want to play lands. And the packs have like awesome full art land treatment. And yeah, it's a really fun. They're all always really fun sets and really nice looking cards. So I don't remember this one. This one being the most. This one's the most recent, but I don't really remember much of the plot or what was in this particular set. So let's find out together what's in this pack. We'll get into it now. Okay. Starting off with a Cliffhaven Sellsword. This is 1 and a white for a core warrior creature, and it's a 3/1. That's all it is. This is what we call a Blade of the Sixth Pride. It's just, back with a new name. And it's fine. A 3/1 for 2 mana is fine. Yeah. It is a solid 2 mana card. And I would not take it first, but I would be fine with it. I would be happy with it in my deck. Okay. Teeter Peak Ambusher. 1 and a red for a 1/3 Goblin Warrior. And it says that for 2 and a red, Teeter Peak Ambusher gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So one of those mana sink cards. Kind of slow starting out, but late game, you can dump a lot of mana into this, and it becomes a pretty decent threat and has to be dealt with. So, yeah, I like it. Anti-cognition. It's like precognition, but not. 1 and a blue for an instant. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 2. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, instead counter that spell. Then scry 2. Cool. So this usually will counter anyway. You just kind of need to get them to tap out. But if it's late game, they probably have enough cards in their graveyard that it just doesn't matter. And so anytime you can counter a spell for 2 mana instead of for 3 mana, it feels pretty good. Territorial Scythe Cat. This is our first card with landfall. 2 and a green for a 2/1 cat with trample and landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Territorial Scythe Cat. I love landfall. Landfall is very powerful. It's fun. It makes it makes you want to draw lands even late in the game when land drops don't generally help you. They will help you with cards like these, and this is a fine card. I really like it. Oblivion's Hunger. 1 and a black for an instant. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Draw a card if that creature has a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's a combat trick. Saves a creature. Gives you a card draw if you're playing something with maybe that landfall trigger from the Scythe Cat, for example. Not a very strong combat trick, but it's a combat trick. Reclaim the Wastes. green mana sorcery with Kicker 3. You may pay an additional 3 as you cast the spell. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. If the spell was kicked, search your library for 2 basic land cards instead of 1. Yep, so I would say it's your basic ramp spell, except if you play it for 1 green, you're not really ramping. You're just making sure you get the land drop by getting your next land into your hand. Sure, that's fine. For 4 mana, you're getting 2 land cards into your hands. So yeah, you're not ramping here. You're just making sure you hit your next land drops, which if you're playing the landfall deck, this is pretty crucial. In some sets, I would say this is not a very good card. In this set, it becomes a really good card because you want to keep hitting those land drops. And it's thinning the land out of your deck so you're drawing gas and you're still getting those lands to work with. So, pretty good. Makindi Ox, 4 and a white for a 4/4 Ox with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature an opponent controls. I love a good tapper. This is a pretty solid beatdown 4/4 creature, and every time you play a land, you tap something down. Cool. I don't like this as your traditional I want to tap down my opponent's threat type of creature because you're not tapping it down on their turn. They can still attack with it and make your life miserable. But if they're playing with smaller creatures and you're just trying to find an opening to bash this guy's face through, he'll get the job done for you. Glacial Grasp, 2 and a blue for an instant. Tap target creature. Its controller mills 2 cards. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Draw a card. Alright. Weird that tapping down a creature goes with milling, but it's a couple of different effects on top of each other. For 3 mana, it's all right. It's a bunch of weak abilities, but it does cycle itself, so it's nice. Tapping a creature down for 2 turns is a pretty blue thing to do. It's almost like a removal spell, but the blue is good at like that temporary removal. Tapping down, bouncing to hand, that sort of thing. Anyway, Feed the Swarm is a black sorcery, 1 and a black. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. So, this will reliably kill a threat for only 2 mana, which is great, but it's a sorcery and you're going to lose some life. But losing life once may prevent you from losing life multiple times, depending on what it is you're taking out. And it's one of those cases where, sometimes you're just going to need removal spells in your deck. And if you're not finding anything else, this is going to do the trick. Veteran Adventurer. 5 and a green. This is the first uncommon in the deck, by the way. 5 and a green for a 5/5 human. Veteran Adventurer is also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. So he's a bard? Anyway. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. And it has vigilance. So, because this is the first of these cards we've gotten in this pack, having a party means every class you have of cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard, each one of those adds to your party. So for this spell in particular, for each one of those classes you have in play, it's reduced by 1. So a full party is if you have all 4 of them out. Then this would be a 2 mana 5/5 vigilance creature. Yeah, this is a fun card. And this set encouraged the party mechanics, and I'm really surprised they did not keep this concept in the Dungeons and Dragons set. Really surprised, but what are you gonna do? Our next uncommon is Clave Plunder. 4 and a blue. Sorcery. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is 3 plus the number of creatures in your party. Put 3 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, even at worst, if you have no creatures in play, this is 5 mana, draw 3 cards. Okay. I think we've had cards that do that, so sure. If you have a full party, it's look at the top 7 cards and put 3 in your hand. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's a bit pricey, but it's pretty cool. It's like a big time scry. Next up, we have a double-sided card, because apparently Zendikar has them too. This is Sagiri Shelter. It is 1 and a white. It's an uncommon. It's 1 and a white for an instant. And it says target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So, little combat trick. Now, on the other side, this is not a transforming card like an Innistrad. This is a modal double-faced, I believe it's called, which means it has 2 different modes and you can play it as either. So the other side is Sagiri Glacier. Sagiri Glacier is a land. It enters the battlefield tapped, and it taps for a white mana. So, yep, that was Zendikar's thing, is that you have a lot of spells that could instead be played as lands. Helps trigger landfall, helps fix your mana, does a lot of things, so pretty neat. Before we get to our rare, let's take a look at the rest of the pack. So, first we have this token card. This is the new way that they wanted you to note what double-faced cards were. Rather than the checklist cards, they just let you write it down on here. You can use a dry erase or something if you want to be able to reuse it. Maybe. I don't know. I guess pencil's fine. But yeah, you just write down what the card is on top, write down the other face on the bottom, and then once, again, this is if you don't sleeve your deck. If you sleeve your deck, it's fine. If you don't sleeve your deck, you're going to need one of these to indicate what the double-faced card is when you draw it. Because this is a card pack on it, and the double-faced cards obviously do not. We've also got our land, and as I mentioned, it is a full art basic land. It's this very, very nice looking swamp. So, the full art land's always a highlight of packs of Zendikar. We have a foil in this pack. It is a foil common, but it is, here it is, it's all shiny. Kabira Outrider. 3 and a white for a 3/3 human warrior. When Kabira Outrider enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature in your party. It's going to be a minimum of 1 because it is itself a warrior. Cool. 3/3 for 4. It gives some other creature in play a boost for the turn. It's nice and aggressive. Pretty neat. Our rare is Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats. 4 black, red for a 4/4 legendary creature, Vampire Rogue. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party, so you could play this for as little as 2 mana. 4/4, flying, death touch, haste. Other creatures you control have death touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. This card is insane. It's really good. Even if you just get a couple of cards down early, like a warrior and a wizard, or, you don't even need all 4. You get a couple of creatures down, you play this for 4? This is solid. There's a lot of power on this guy. Yeah, Zagras. Yeah, go into my deck, please. Like this is definitely my first pick. I like tend to be partial to big giant flyers, even over removal, because this is just a bomb. These just win you games. They got to be dealt with immediately, or they just rule over the game. So yeah, that would be my first pick if I were drafting this pack. That's going to do it for the Zendikar Rising pack. Don't forget to like this video if you liked this video. You can also subscribe to my channel and follow me over on Twitter at OKCoyote. That's going to do it for today. We'll see you tomorrow with another pack. Thanks. Bye.